I seen it. We gonna wait a little bit. We got a second. Wow. How you get 99 likes and 54 people? That's kind of crazy. Hold on. I fixed it. I fixed the technical difficulties. I fixed it. Hold on. Wait. Where's the chat at? I need to find the chat. I need the chat first. Where's the chat? Somebody find me the chat. All right. Y'all need to type something in the chat. Type some ones in the chat if you can hear me okay. Oh, you on Twitch? That's what's up. We got some people on Twitch. I'm rocking with it. YouTube, I'm rocking with it. What's up, Tanya? What's up, Kimberly? What's up, Jennifer? What's up, Scully? It's fixed. What's up, Megan? What's up, Shirley? Man, I love Shirley. What's up, Shirley? What's up, Jenny? I'd never seen Jenny spell like that, but I rock with it. Wandy? What's up, Wandy? That's your real name, Wandy? If it is, that's dope. Man, all right, hold on. I'm about to start rapping on it, Julius. Hold on. I'm about to start rapping on it, Julius. What's good? All right, give me some likes. I'm getting some things together. You know what happened? Wait, should I start rapping on this? Wait, hold on. All right, look. Nah, y'all thought I was. Here's what happened. I don't know what went up. My stream deck, for whatever reason, I don't know why this was, but my stream deck, this is a Christian rap beat. So, you know, you want to say it's from the rap world. I guess it's a Christian producer who made this beat. So here's what happened. I don't know what's going on with my stream deck. So for those of you who know what a stream deck is, my stream deck was like completely blank. So I couldn't press anything on my stream deck for some reason. And I was trying to fix it. I was trying to do all the updates and stuff like that, and it just wasn't working. And so I was on Safari. I had all the tabs pulled up for everything that I wanted to talk about. Like, y'all would have been very proud of me. I had everything pulled up, every tab pulled up, you know, section by section, just to make it so organized on this stream. Because last stream, it was fun, but it was kind of a mess. So the last thing I had to do, which I did not want to do, was restart my entire computer and then lose all of the tabs that I just set up for like a good 45 minutes. So as soon as I restarted it, then it finally worked, and I lost all my tabs. So I had to go back and organize all my tabs again. But it's all good because we in here. And we in here. What's good, y'all? What y'all up to? Wait, hold on. You got a podcast? Before I Got Saved podcast. What's up? Before I Got Saved podcast. Wait, what'd you say? My YouTube is nowhere. Wait, hold on. What'd you say? Chemical warfare? My YouTube is nowhere holy because I used it for past streams when I was cussing too much. Should have been erased old content before speaking here. I don't know what you're talking about, but that just caught my attention. I don't know why. Wait, hold on. Before I Got Saved podcast. You got a podcast? Before I Got Saved podcast? Are you posting on the podcast? Y'all go show some love to Before I Got Saved podcast. That seems pretty dope. That seems pretty dope. All right, y'all. We gonna start out the stream with something encouraging, something that you may or may not have seen before. Because we're gonna be talking about some topics today that we gonna get into some Kehlani conversation. There's been a lot of conversation about Kehlani, if she was in a cult. A lot of conversation about her religion, about her spirituality, about, you know, who she follows, a bunch of crazy stuff. We're going to get into that. That's kind of dark, though. We're also going to get into some conversation about Kirk Franklin. So Kirk Franklin, he was doing an interview on Cam Newton's podcast. I forget what it's called. It might be called Funky Friday. But we're going to talk about that for a little bit. Also, we got to talk about the election stuff because it's been a minute. And how many months we got? We only got a few more months until it's time to cast the vote. And I'm just going to say it. I feel like Kamala might take the W. And I'm going to tell you why I feel like that. All right. But first things first, let's get into this video. Something a little bit encouraging, something a little bit different, something that you might not have seen before. And also, I changed the stream, so I think it might be more responsive. So I think it's like more in real time. I believe it's more in real time. So type the number 1 real quick. I want to see how fast y'all can respond to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see how fast, if I'm talking, how fast you get it. I'm trying to see what the delay is like. I'm trying to figure it out because I tweaked some things around. Oh, that delay popping. Can you shout out my mom? She loves you. What's up, mama? Hey, Nate Dogg mama, what's up? What's her name? You got to tell me her name, though. You can't just say shout out my mom and don't say a name. What's your mom's name? What's her name? Also, I need to get a haircut because I'm looking crusty. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to it. We're going to start with this. Because I was a little upset. Oh, Teresa, I seen that quick. Teresa, Mama Teresa, thank you so much. I pray that the Lord blesses you today and meets all of your needs and then some. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, let's get to it.
Everybody love Jesus?
Hey, the quality is like 19. It's not even like 480p. It's like 19. It's like 1930 qualities. But do y'all know who this is? So this is the dude. This is Debo. I think his real name is Tiny, but this is Debo. He was preaching in a prison. We got to start with this. It's not very long at all, but we got to start with this. We got to.
I grew up in a city called Compton, California. Between Sweetport, Louisiana, and Compton is the murder capital of the world again this year. And I told God I would get off the sidelines and I would get in the game and make a difference. So I said, God, if you want me to roll with TBN, they must get radical. I called God out. I said, God, if you want me to roll with TBN, they can't come with this flipper kind of Christianity. They got to come with this Jaws kind of Christianity. Psalms 42:7. The deep will call into the deep. So my brother, Matt and Laurie, brought me close to them. And they said,
have y'all seen this before? Have you seen, you need to get a sub on Twitch. I know I don't have any subs on Twitch. I'm trying to diversify. So that's why I'm streaming on Twitch. I was going to try to stream on like TikTok and Rumble, but they make it too complicated. But yeah, I do need to get, I'm not partnered on Twitch, so I can't do that. But have y'all seen this yet? Have y'all seen this? Let me know if you've seen this. All right, just lock in.
We're going to do this different kind of, this out kind of ministry, outcast. Because see, I'm an outcast. They told me I would never be nothing. He told me, my own mom and father told me, you weak. Wish your name wouldn't even tell me. But they never checked with my spiritual father.
You never heard of Debo? You never heard of Debo? That's probably a good thing, because you ain't seen the movie Friday. This is Debo from Friday.
But I thank God. That was my preparation for a season like this. And I'm trying to tell y'all my brothers, because y'all watched me on 90 different films, hurt people, lay hands, and it wasn't for Jesus, it was for Debo, it was for Zeus. Game raps about me, the biggest rappers in the world, but I rap about Jesus. I cried out to God, said, God, let's do this kind of ministry. Let's go into prisons and do this. But let me tell you something about me. I didn't want to come into prisons. I wanted to stop the kids from going into prison. But Matt and Laurie, they nudged me. They said, Tony, we got to go to a deeper place. We got to go to Angola. I've always heard about this on the West Coast. I love your hearts, because you got a heart for Christ. You're not black no more. You're not white no more. You're not Mexican no more. You're not Indian no more. You Christ-like. I got to work with Tupac Shakur on his last film. I killed him in his last film. Art. 3 weeks later, life imitated art. If Tupac was here, he would tell you, Jesus is the only way. Not thug life. Jesus is the only way. So, Matt and Laurie wanted you to know, you see me on Friday, but you don't see me dropping no tears in no movies. You see me laying hands and hurting people. I come to tell you, I don't want to lose no more of my brothers to thug life. I want you to try Jesus. Sell your life out for Jesus. Whenever you see me in a movie dropping tears, whenever you ever see me in a movie dropping tears, when I was Zeus in the WWF, I didn't drop no tears. When I played Debo, I didn't drop no tears. But when you talk about the most powerful thing there is, your first love, that got a second chances, man, I know, God, man, God, they got a second chances. The only person is gangster. The streets say gangster is somebody that nobody else can do. 50 took 9 bullets. Everybody call that gangster. Man, Jesus laid in a tomb for 3 days, and he rose again. No, that's gangster. Playing a Christian is over. Learning 10 scriptures, it's about us getting on our face. It's about us getting on our face and asking God for forgiveness. God, I repent in the name of Jesus. God, have my brothers come forth and let them become soldiers for Christ, and let everybody know that the revival started in Angola. The revival started in Angola prison. Let the world know. Let the world take heed. The revival in America started in Angola prison. In Jesus' name. Now that's gangster.
He said it's time to stop playing Christian. You learned your little 10 scriptures. Nah, it's time to get on your face and cry out to your king, your father in heaven, and ask for forgiveness and repent and seek his will. I'm just saying I had to start out like that before we get into the craziness. I had to. Wait, hold on. I'm going through the comments. What happened? Somebody said something. Man, yeah, I'm happy he came to Jesus too, because he passed away. Somebody said he passed away in 2020. I think it was 2020 when he passed away. I've never seen him in any movies aside from the Friday series. I haven't seen any other movies like that he was in. I know he was, just off of something that I heard, I know that he was in some type of biblical type movie where he played somebody from the Bible. I forget what movie it was. But I think that was towards the latter stage of his career, when he was trying to kind of clean up the work that he was doing and make more, intentional work for God. But I haven't seen it. All right, y'all. Let's get into this Kehlani story. Have y'all seen this Kehlani story? I'm going to start with a video from TikTok, and we're going to get into some different articles. We're going to get into some different interviews that she did on podcasts, and we're going to try to break this down. This is a tough, heavy, dark topic, and there's so many layers to this story. Ultimately, I just pray that Kehlani can come out of this demonic bondage, oppression, whatever you want to call it. She's being influenced by demons right now. Just like a lot of celebrities in Hollywood are influenced by demons, are serving Satan, whether they know it or not. They're serving darkness. And you can just tell when you look at them, when you look them in the eyes through a screen. Obviously, I haven't met these people, but when you look these people in the eyes, Kehlani, for example, you could tell that there's a lot of pain, a lot of trauma, a lot of hurt. So I'm going to try to be polite as we get into this conversation, but I'm not going to sugarcoat the truth. You know what I'm saying? And the truth of the matter is, and this goes for any of us, for all of us, if you don't get right with Jesus, if you don't put your faith in Jesus Christ, you are going to hell. You know what I mean? So let's get to it. This is, I don't know who this is on TikTok. I don't know her name. I don't know her name. She's not a Christian creator or nothing like that. She just made this video talking about Kehlani. So for those of you who do not know, a little bit of the backstory for what's going on. Kehlani, her baby daddy, which I'm going to try to be nice. I don't know if her baby daddy like non-binary or something like that, or he looks very feminine. So I'm not sure. That's really besides the point, but I just had to get that off my chest. Kehlani's baby daddy, he filed a motion. He did this whole thing. We're going to get into it, but essentially he went to the court and he said that he fears that his daughter is a victim of a sex cult. And he was seeking full custody of his daughter, and he believed that his daughter was in danger and that Kehlani is brainwashed from the years of her following this religion. It's like this African, demonic religion, which we're going to get into. All right. So I'm going to play this video. I'm going to stop it in between some points. And we're going to start here. All right. If only the audio would work. See, this is the things that y'all don't see when I'm trying to record a video like in real time. This is what typically happens. The audio don't work. But now I'm live, so I got to leave it in. I can't cut it out.
I just finished going through all of the documents in this court filing, so I'm going to give you guys a quick breakdown on all of the allegations that are in here. Before I get started, I am just going to preface this. This is all alleged. This is everything that came directly from Javon's own declaration. So until there is a formal response to that from Kehlani or her attorneys, what this is going off of is just everything he was able to put in his declaration. This first page is basically him just saying he is giving this declaration instead of giving testimony, and that he feels everyone has a bigger say-so in decision-making around his daughter's life than he does. Now, page 2 is where things start to already get a little bit interesting. Kehlani gave birth to Adea in a home birth, and he is saying that already at that time, Kehlani was in a cult, and that the home birth was orchestrated by the cult. Now, since it was a home birth, you're not at a hospital to automatically get a birth certificate. You have a certain amount of time to register your child for a birth certificate. But Javon is alleging that when Kehlani did finally register Adea for a birth certificate, she did not put Javon as the father on Adea's birth certificate. I assume that means it's just blank. I can't imagine someone else would be listed on that, but he says he is not on her birth certificate, and for the past 5 years, Adea is 5 years old, he has been requesting a copy of her birth certificate and asking to be added to it, and none of that has happened. Kind of on the admin stuff, he says he's not even sure if Adea has a social security number because he's been asking for it and hasn't received. Now, after this is when he starts getting into allegations of the cult members and the cult leaders with their daughter. I will get out of the way so you can pause and read, and I'm just going to give kind of a really quick summary of all of this after.
Okay, hold on. Let me read this real quick. To the extent that I can see it. So you've got this accusation that Kehlani is involved in this cult. And this is a very long story, and a lot of updates have happened since then. So if you're curious, since then, obviously Kehlani has denied it. And it's actually really interesting too, before I read this, it's really interesting too. Like, so obviously Kehlani denied it, and she said that it wasn't a cult. And she also said this is her former religion. So she's no longer in this religion anymore, according to Kehlani. But then after she denied it, she filed a motion, or whatever you want to call it. I'm not a lawyer, obviously, but she filed a motion to have a restraining order against him. And I'm assuming the reason why she did this is because this is just from me, you know, on YouTube and just doing a little bit of research. She just put out an album and she's about to go on tour. So I'm assuming she might fear that her baby daddy might try to steal the kid while she's on tour. So she filed a motion to have a restraining order against him. And then when that happened, he kind of recanted some of his statements, which was interesting. So he was trying to say that the media spun this in a way that he wasn't intending it to be spun. And he was trying to say that the media put a bunch of words in his mouth that he didn't actually say. So regardless, let's read through this a little bit. I don't know how much you can see this. I can't really zoom it too much, but I'll read through it a little bit. So verse 9, it says, "What's more concerning, and the main reason that I'm filing this petition, is that respondent has been involved in this cult for the past few years. And it appears that this cult controls her actions and her behaviors, including when it comes to the upbringing of our daughter. For example, the cult leader, who goes by the name of Nito, convinced respondent, I think respondent is Kehlani in this situation, that he had a vision that I was a danger to our daughter and would kill her. And thereafter banned respondent. Well, now I don't know who responded. Now I'm confused. And thereafter I guess it's Kehlani. Thereafter banned Kehlani from allowing me to see the daughter. Based on this quote unquote vision by her cult leader, Kehlani prevented me from seeing our daughter for months. Additionally, several details which I have discovered of what our daughter has to endure when her mother, who is a famous singer, is out on tour is quite alarming to me. I have learned that Nito has numerous accusations of committing sexual assault against women and young girls. At first, when Kehlani would go on tour, I would have our daughter in my custody, essentially becoming a glorified babysitter, but at least it gave me an opportunity to spend time with our daughter. However, Kehlani's cult leader's quote unquote vision about me killing our daughter, Kehlani leaves our daughter with random strangers who are always members of the cult, including Nito. And then at the bottom on 15, number 15, I know it's small, so you can't really see it unless you zoom in. You can zoom in on YouTube too, on your phone. On 15, it says, Nito performs religious ceremonies on our daughter. However, No one is allowed to be in the room when he is performing these ceremonies. When I discovered this on her birthday in 2023, I was physically restrained and threatened by the members of the cult when I attempted to retrieve our daughter. I also learned that respondents allows a member of a cult that she calls Messiah. Wait. I also learned that the respondent, Kehlani, allows a member of the cult that she calls Messiah, an adult woman, to take baths with our daughter while being under the influence of psychedelics. So this was his statement that he had wrote. Let's continue.
Oh, number 9, he is saying that for the past few years, Kehlani has been in a cult, and it appears that the cult is in control of her actions and behaviors around raising Adea. He goes on to say that the cult leader's name is Nito, and that Nito had a vision that Javon was a danger to their daughter, and basically kind of had Kehlani no longer allow Javon to see their daughter because of his vision. Number 12 does kind of reiterate what even Kehlani's friend had said about Nito in some tweets.
So the thing about it is, like, bro, she's been involved in this for such a long time. Like, she was doing interviews, Kehlani was doing interviews 2 years ago, for example. I don't know how old her daughter is, but she was doing interviews 2 years ago. She did an interview. Where's the impulsive interview? That was a year ago. I think she was on Big Boy's morning show. How long was that? Like 3 years ago. She has been very vocal about her involvement in this religion. So, like, from the baby daddy standpoint, bro, you ain't see the red flags? You know what I'm saying? You ain't see the red flags before you laid down with her? I ain't trying to be disrespectful, but you didn't see this before? I don't know the age. You want me to look up the age? She's young. Let me see. She's a toddler, I believe. It says she's 5. She's 5 years old. So she's a baby. She's literally a baby, right? So after all this happened, Kehlani came out and she said, I've always taken great care to ensure that my child remains protected and safe. This is in a statement that she shared on Tuesday. And I think there's like a full, I have it. I think right here. Here it is. This is the full statement. What the heck is going on? Okay, so this is what Kehlani said. She said, what was published in the media over the past 24 hours is incredibly hurtful, inaccurate, inappropriate, and simply untrue. I wanted to take time to ensure that I responded to all these accusations from a calm and considered space rather than a reactive one. I strongly deny any claims that I have put my child in harm's way or left my child alone with anyone deemed dangerous or unsafe. I also do not align with any of the allegations made against my former religious community. That's a key point. Against my former religious community and have been stated in the media. So clearly, I mean, if it's former, you could one could assume that something was going on that caused you to walk away from it. Something. I don't know what it was, but something was going on that caused her to walk away from it. I've always taken great care to ensure that my child remains protected and safe at all times. My child and my commitment to motherhood have always been my sole driving force in this life and will always remain so. This is legal and private. And then she goes on to say that she's hoping that they can resolve this privately, right? Let me show this real quick. I just thought this was interesting because this is a little bit of what she was involved in. I can't play too much of it because this is from, I think it's Vogue. Let me turn the volume down a little bit.
I am in a very incredible religion called La Regla de Ocha.
Okay, this was a weird part that I wanted to show. So apparently, according to this religion, Regla de Ocha, and this is what she says that she's no longer involved in, right? I guess it's commonplace, and I've seen this before with like different, I guess I don't want to disrespect anybody, but I've seen this before with like different versions of like Catholicism. They'll kind of set up altars in this way. But one of the things that Kehlani was saying is that she has this altar, or that she used to have this altar. So this was about, I think, a year ago that this interview came out, that she used to have this altar that was dedicated to her old, family members that passed away, respectfully, that passed away. And she would pray to her dead family members and ask for, certain guidance and certain prayer and not prayer, but certain blessings and certain miracles and just direction and discernment and things like that. I think the picture in the middle, I believe that's her dad, like the big picture in the middle. I believe that's her dad. I'm not 100% sure, but I know her dad passed away when she was like super young, when she was like 2 or something like that. And that's why I said, I want to be respectful in covering this topic, because I understand that a lot of the reasons why people fall for these demonic religions is it stems from a place of trauma. It really stems from a place of wanting to have a spiritual fulfillment, but just not knowing where to go to, properly fulfill that. And, the only place to go is Jesus Christ. Now there's other spiritual forces out there. The spiritual realm is a real thing. Like there's familiar spirits. There's there's real things. There's real spiritual forces besides Jesus Christ that people are praying to, and they're getting a response, and they're seeing things happen. But just because you're getting a response, just because you feel like you're getting a result from praying to these demonic spirits, it doesn't mean that you're saved. It doesn't mean that you're seeking the right place. These are all deceptive spirits at the end of the day. They're trying to deceive you and trick you away from Jesus Christ. So I thought that was interesting. And like I said, the part that I thought was weird was the dude, not completely, but he pretty much retracted his statement. I don't know if I can find it here, but he retracted his statement, and he essentially was saying that it was overblown and whatnot. I don't know. I can't find it here. This is another interview I want to show real quick. This is just a quick clip. So this is Kehlani. This was from, when was this posted? This was posted 1 year ago. So this was posted on, I don't even know. I don't know how to work YouTube. Oh, there it is. January 23rd, 2023. She's specifically talking about religion and people monetizing God. So she used to be a Christian way back in the day. And I don't even think she really, like, I use that loosely, like used to be a Christian. Like she basically said that she used to go to church with her grandmother. And I think she used to subscribe to some of, Christian theology. But I want to play this clip because this is very, very interesting, just to kind of show her belief system and her idea of Jesus. It's very interesting. Let me play it.
Having a serious commitment to like spiritual hygiene, because we can talk about like, religion. I'm a very religious person and not Christian.
I wanted to ask.
Yeah, I'm in an Afro-Cuban religion. So it's a very heavy emphasis on like spiritual hygiene and like spiritual cleanliness. That's actually like a process. Like I have actual things that I do when I'm feeling unwell, not just prayer.
Afro-Cuban?
Yeah.
That's the part that was very interesting to me. She said, I have actual things that I do when I'm feeling unwell, not just prayer. I have actual things that I do when I'm feeling unwell, not just prayer. That's a very interesting perspective to have. It's almost like, these religions, these demonic religions. So in her example, this Afro-Cuban religion that she was a part of, that she says that she's no longer a part of, it's almost like they give you this false sense of empowerment. And it almost seems, and this is weird too, because This is a religion. There's no heaven or hell, which I always found very strange. There's no heaven or hell. So you're following this religion and there's no solution to the obvious problem, which is death. So what happens after you die? You just stay around and now people can pray to you and you're one of those spirits. It's just weird stuff. And this is what I'm saying. All of these things are a distraction away from the truth. Because if the devil can get you to believe that there's no heaven or hell, then you're not going to look internally. You're not going to come to a place of repentance and realize that you are in desperate, dire need of a savior because you are sinful. And the wages of sin is death. There's no solution. There's nothing that you can do with your own two hands to get yourself out of that. You have to put your faith in the one that defeated death on the cross and then rose again. Anyway, let me just play the video.
Never heard of this. Enlighten me.
I mean, it's Afro-Cuban religion called Lukumi. I don't really know how to do the short form version, but it originated in West Africa.
Do you pray?
I do pray. Yeah, prayer is a big part of it. But what's
the deity or like the God? Is there
it's a monotheistic, so there is God, and then there's all these pantheons of, I want to say people, but
we don't want to put you on the spot for like
they're called
defining.
the Orishas.
Okay, got it.
But it's originally from West Africa, and then it was brought to Cuba when Cuba was created, and it's like the birth of this traditional West African religion and Catholicism that was forced onto the slaves, and then they had to birth this religion out of secrecy and survival. And we use it to this day to just like save people's lives, change people's lives, heal them, aid them, bring them out of struggles, comfort them. I mean, all things that...
Once again, she says that we use this religion to this day to save people's lives. Is the audio okay? Is there a big gap between my microphone and the video? Let me know in the comments. She said that they use this religion every single day to save people's lives. How can you save somebody's life when y'all don't even believe in heaven or hell? Like y'all don't like what is there to save? What is there to save? Like, okay, you do this thing, right? You go through this set of meditations, these prayers, this lifestyle, whatever they do. I don't know exactly what they do. Let's just say, for example, okay, you feel better. You feel better. And now that you feel better, now you are able to be more productive. Now you're able to live a healthier life, whatever that looks like. And now you feel like you came out of a dark place and now you feel a lot better. Okay, but yeah, how come we're so heavily based on our feelings alone? Like, there's so much more to just our feelings. You don't always feel good when you follow Jesus Christ. You don't always feel good. In fact, the Bible tells us to crucify our flesh. So many of these religions, they want to offer this standpoint of we want you to feel good. We have the solution. You're going to be okay. But you don't have the true solution to the problem, which is sin. You don't have that solution. You don't have what my soul desires, what my spirit, what it needs. You're just giving me a temporary Band-Aid. I don't know. Y'all got me rambling.
Go to religion for, but
is it heaven and hell based at all?
No,
huh?
No, it's the idea that we're missing a major energetic understanding and gift when we're here, and that this spirit is given to us to aid us in that, and we walk with them for life, and we understand everything that they have to teach us, and what we do after. I mean, it's heavily emphasized on like working with the dead after, and like on some like, you have your altar, you pray to your folks. You know what I'm saying? It's honestly, Christians do the same shit.
I was just about to say,
it's all the same shit, honestly. Let's be fucking for real. And I fuck with Jesus, and I still pray to Jesus too, because my ancestors did. So
okay, I apologize for the language. It's not all the same stuff. It's not. And I apologize if you have headphones in, but it's not all the same stuff. It's not all the same stuff. It's not all the same stuff. How is it the same stuff? I'm sorry. I don't have an altar in my house praying to my dead relatives. If that disrespects or offends anybody, I apologize, but that ain't what we're supposed to be doing. That's not it. It's not all the same stuff. And then you have the audacity to say, and I know I said I was going to be nice, but then you have the audacity to say that you mess with Jesus too? Oh, the devil got you so confused. The devil got you so confused. So you can sprinkle a little bit of the truth in a sea of lies. And that makes you feel okay. The devil got you so twisted and confused.
I have to connect with my
Respect.
ancestors. I play them gospel. I pray to Jesus. You know, so it's all
I like
It's
that.
all the same shit.
Yeah.
I like that. Isn't it funny how much overlap there is in the religions? Yet everybody still wants to kill each other.
I think like
You know why there's so much overlap? Because the devil is a master manipulator. The devil is very crafty, cunning. The devil is very deceptive. The devil knows God. The devil knows who God is. The devil knows the truth. The devil wanted to be like God. The devil wanted worship. The devil is jealous of God. The devil is jealous of our position. For those of us who have our faith in Jesus Christ, for those of us who are born again, the devil is highly, highly jealous to a level that I can't even articulate of our position in Christ. The reason why there's so much overlap is because the truth is found only in the Word of God. That's only found in the Bible. You have all these other religions that are pulling a little bit of the truth and they're mixing it with a whole bunch of lies. And you have so many vulnerable people who are genuinely hurt, who have experienced a lot of trauma, who have experienced the effects, the negative effects of sin on this planet. And they're impacted and they're broken and they're looking for a solution. They're looking for a savior. And you have these religions that pull a little bit of truth from the truth and they add it to their demonic doctrines, their demonic, whatever you want to call it, their demonic religions, and they serve it up to these vulnerable people. And the people fall for it. And it's terrible and it's sad. But let's not sit here and say they're all the same.
it makes total sense. Like we all look different because we came from different places. Just like words be sounding like the same word, but in each language, they just sound like slightly different version of one word. So why wouldn't our gods look like us, depending on where we are, and it all not just be one big energy?
Damn,
That's where I land. That's where I land.
I mean,
That's where you land, Logan. I know this was a year ago, but she said, and I know he's probably, they've both changed their views since, but it's interesting to see where people have came from. She said, how come our gods wouldn't look like us and it would all come from the same energy? And then Logan said, that's where I land. I don't get it. Like, I don't get it, man.
dude, like people cling to what makes them feel good.
Of course.
If that's what makes you feel good. And I went to church one time when I was like 15, 16, and I was in Philly randomly at this church. And this lady was like, I don't give a fuck if any of this shit isn't real. This makes me, she literally was like, this makes me want to get up in the morning and be a better person.
Yes.
She said, I read these stories and this inspires me to be a better member of society and a better friend and a better grandmother and a better this and da-da-da. If whatever that God is allows you to do that, God bless you.
Yeah.
Damn, I gotta say shout out George again real quick.
He would be frothing at the mouth
He's
right
a
now.
big religious believer, Christian, and I wish he was here for this. But
I wish George was there too. I wonder what George would have said in this moment. I don't think it would have been in agreement with what she was saying whatsoever.
Shout out Jesus and
Yeah.
him.
I
Don't say shout out Jesus.
do a little thing with Jesus and George the other. Look, I love Jesus, but Kehlani, where I have fallen short in the religion category is I get super fired up when I pinpoint the intolerance that exists in religion. Like I really don't like it, and so it's sometimes
I agree.
Beliefs have been hard for me to accept when I know how alienating they can be because they're being perpetuated in a what I believe to be a dangerous way.
I mean, it's because it's become human. God was never about being like what the man-made version of it is. Like God is bigger than that. You know what I mean? Is people have taken it and monetized it. The book isn't even right. Like, shout out the Bible. There's some really cool stories in there, but like the book isn't even correct. You know what I mean? Like, it's when humans step into non-human things and commodify them and then like turn it into some human ass shit.
Commodify.
That's
You're
really
100%.
Do you connect?
it's like a business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You though although I could be quick to place judgment a certain way, if it gives people hope and purpose, it's wrong to be dismissive of it.
No, Christ is
You said L, Jake Paul.
Christians be sucking sometimes.
Wait, I'm sorry. That was important. Hold on.
Some really cool stories in there, but like the book isn't even correct. You know what I mean? Like it's when humans step into non-human things and commodify them and then like turn it into some human ass shit.
Commodify.
That's
You're
really
100%.
Do you connect?
it's like a business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said it though. Although I could be quick to place judgment a certain way, if it gives people hope and purpose, it's wrong to be dismissive of it.
No, Christ is tight. Christians be sucking sometimes.
That's what I
That's
said.
just the bottom line.
Wait,
Like,
ready?
I didn't say anything
Hey.
about Jesus. I
Hey.
said it about the folks.
I'm gonna
See, I
say
said it- I
something
said it
real
about
quick.
Jesus.
You hear how
my
she
bad.
said it? It's all about how you say it, buddy.
I'm not
You
gonna
didn't
lie.
say it like that,
what's
pal.
so funny
she
is, like-
said it awesome.
Speaking of being so hyper aware, literally, I was like doing my research to decide if I was like going to come on the
I
podcast.
know.
All right. She said Christ is tight, but Christians be sucking sometimes. You don't even know Jesus. Look, Christians are people. We're flawed individuals. Do we suck sometimes? Yeah. But you can't look at Christians, you can't look at humans to always perfectly be an example of Jesus Christ. When you have the example in the scriptures, when you have access to the Holy Spirit, when you are born again, when you put your faith in Jesus Christ. Our God is a relational God. He's a relational God. Any question you have, you can take it straight to him. Any concern you have, you can take it straight to him. Any doubt you have, you can take it straight to him, and he will answer you. It's like people think it's crazy to be a Christian and to put your faith in Jesus Christ, but y'all, meanwhile, y'all sitting up here, and once again, no disrespect, but y'all sitting up here with altars to your dead relatives, praying to your dead relatives. I don't get it. Real quick. This is a month ago. Just to give you further context. So, going back to the original headline, right? Kehlani's baby daddy accuses her of being in a cult and is seeking full custody of their 5-year-old daughter. A month ago, because she's doing a lot of promo, she just put out an album, she's doing tours and stuff like that. A month ago, she did this interview with Apple Music. They were talking about the shift. There's been a shift in her music. And then she starts to get into the fact that everything has changed in her life, which kind of led to a new sound. And then she said something very interesting that I would love to talk about. Let me play this real fast.
The parameters that I created for myself of safety and to feel like this is how I want certain things to go, a lot of those were broken. My spiritual life completely changed. My familial life completely changed as I started making this album and like really finding out, you know, not to be astrological, but it's my Saturn return as well. So like that is the years of like shattering what you know as like parameters and things like that. So
she said her spiritual life has completely changed. And she already alluded to this in the statement that she made. She said that was her former religion. She's no longer a part of that. She already alluded to it. But then she says something strange. Let me turn my headphones up. Then she says something strange. I don't think I ever even knew about this before. She was talking about a Saturn return, right? A Saturn return. A Saturn return. What happens during a Saturn return? A Saturn return is the concept that every 30 or so years in a person's life, Saturn comes back to the place in the sky that it was on the day the person was born. For a lot of people, 30 also happens to be the time when a huge jump happens into adulthood. And then there's this whole article from Vogue. And Vogue says, what is a Saturn return and why is everybody talking about it? Now, Ariana Grande, she's a witch. The witchiest witch. Those are her words, not my words. So I'm not surprised to see Ariana Grande as the cover of this Saturn return thing. I don't understand this whole obsession and this whole worship of horoscopes and what's your sign and all this type of stuff. I don't like we're sitting here worshiping planets. You're worshiping planets. You're worshiping creation. You're worshiping creation. Why not worship the creator? It's just I don't get it. I don't understand it. It makes no sense. So it says anyone, I need these ads off my screen, bro. Anyone who has made the transition from their late 20s into their early 30s is well aware of the growing pains. Listen to this. This is subtle. Is well aware of the tough growing pains that go on during this time. It's often a period when you're reevaluating certain aspects of your life. This is true. This is a tough age. Going from your late 20s to your early 30s, it's tough because you feel like, dang, I should have things more figured out than I do now. And now I'm 30, the clock's ticking. It's tough, right? It says it's often a period when you're reevaluating certain aspects of your life and figuring out who and what you want to commit to moving forward. Fortunately, so they have the problem. Now here's the solution, right? I don't know why I'm getting these ads for some ballet leotard stuff. I don't do ballet, bruh. They have the problem, and now here's the solution, right? Fortunately, there's an astrological term for this specific life stage, the Saturn return. And it's been having a major moment in pop culture recently. Now, everybody's talking about the Saturn return. Ariana Grande, Casey Musgraves, SZA, a whole bunch of people. Kehlani. So it's like you go from one wacky, kooky, demonic belief system to the next one. It's like you leave this Afro-Cuban demonic religion and then you just find the next one because that one wasn't fulfilling you. So you jump to, worshiping Saturn. And now you worship Saturn, and now Saturn is telling you that this is the time where everything is going to change, and this is the time where you should be reflecting on your life and who you want to be moving forward. So what happens when Saturn no longer fulfills you? Where do you go to next? Where do you go to next? And it's just so sad because I understand from Kehlani's standpoint, she lost her dad at a very early age. I think before she was 3, she lost her dad. She said that her mom was an addict for the majority of her life. So that's already very problematic. Like, your parents aren't even in your life. That's tough. That would affect any of us. And then on top of that, she had mentioned that she went through a period of life where she was using and abusing drugs. As you would expect, a child having that much trauma in their life, of course, they're going to seek to try to relieve the trauma and the pain that they're feeling. I myself was in that place as well. I've talked about this before, of the dependence that I had on smoking weed and how that had me in bondage for so long. And like, to be completely honest with you guys, I still have this temptation to smoke that I'm still battling to this day, that I have to deny to this day. And that should just speak to that should tell you guys, don't even get involved with this stuff. This temporary solutions that the world has for you, smoking, drinking, sex, social media, whatever it is, being a workaholic, whatever it is, a person, these temporary solutions that the world offers to you, just go get some more money. You'll be happy. It's all temporary stuff. It's all temporary. It's never going to fulfill you. You're always going to need more and more and more and more and more. And the more you get, the worse you're going to feel. So from Kehlani's standpoint, she had a tough life. And then on top of that, she's very talented. Whether you want to admit it or not, she can sing. She's creative. She can sing. She's talented. The music industry saw that talent and they scooped her up. And now she's in the industry. Now she's in Hollywood with all of those spirits and demonic influences attached to that industry. Now she's in that industry. It's no wonder why she's fallen into all of this that she's fallen into from a spiritual standpoint. Is she successful? From the world's point of view, extremely successful. I'm assuming she has millions of dollars. I'm assuming she has, homes and cars, and she's got a fan base who supports her. She's successful from a worldly point of view, but from a spiritual standpoint, up until this point, she's failed. And that's okay, because that was all of us at some point in time. That was myself. That was you at some point in time. And then we came to the realization that Jesus Christ is the only thing that matters and the only one that will fulfill us. So I'm praying she can come to that point at some point in time, to where she realizes that everything that she's seeking spiritually, all of that and more, is in Jesus Christ. And like I said, just to cap this story off, as he said, and this is weird, this is the baby daddy. He said that he never said Santeria is a sex cult, nor did I say that my daughter isn't a sex cult. That's factually incorrect, and I think it's disgusting that TMZ would exploit a child's image like that. I mean, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I guess he didn't necessarily say it was a sex cult, but he did say that the leader of the cult has open allegations from women to be sexually abusive. And like I said, it just goes back to the whole thing what I was talking about, is one of the devil's biggest tactics, if not the biggest tactic to separate us from God, is to lie. Look what happened in the garden. Look what happened to Adam and Eve. One of the devil's biggest tactics is to lie. And he'll frame it in a way that sounds good, that seems appealing. But ultimately, we know where it leads to, right? And even it's a little bit bright, but this is 2 Corinthians. And Paul says, verse 14, and no wonder, for even Satan disguises himself as an angel of light. So it's no surprise if his servants also disguise themselves as servants of righteousness. Their end will correspond to their deeds. So even Satan himself disguises himself as good, as positive, as beneficial, as what you need, right? So it's no surprise that the people that serve Satan, his servants, are also going to disguise themselves as such. It's no surprise. It's no surprise. What's going on? We need moderators. I know. I need moderators. This is a good time for me to bring this up. Let me see. Let me bring this up here. So for those of you who want to be moderators, and just for anybody who wants to support, what's going on? Why my dog out there shaking like that? For anyone who wants to be moderators, and for those of you who want to support, go to Patreon and join Patreon. A lot of people don't know this for whatever reason. Just hit this button. Join for free. Join for free. That's it. That's all you got to do is join for free. Yes, there's people who pay $1 a month, $3.99 a month. Nobody pays $50 a month yet, but there's people who pay, but join for free. So this way, instead of having to rely on YouTube, where I don't know anybody, like I don't have any access to y'all, really. Like the only access that I have to you guys is what YouTube provides to me. Like if I make a post on the community tab, or if I post a video, I'm depending on YouTube to show people what I posted or show people the video. And sometimes they don't always do that. And also, I was just talking to my father-in-law. He was even saying that he was subscribed to my channel and then suddenly YouTube just unsubscribed him from my channel. So if anything, this is a way for us to have access to one another mutually. Just in case something happens. You know, I know a lot of y'all seen what was going on with Ruslan too. That was crazy. Did y'all see everything that was going on with Ruslan and all the strikes that he got in a day from, I don't know if it was Joe Rogan or if it wasn't Joe Rogan, but he was pretty much packed up out of here. And I was talking to him and I was trying to encourage him and I was just, asking him what I could do to help. But by the grace of God, he was able to figure out that situation and get that resolved. But that's really the life that we live as content creators. We are essentially employees to these social media platforms. And if they want us up out of here, then they can get us up out of here, So with something like Patreon, like I said, you don't have to pay, it's free. But with something like Patreon, at least I have more control to actually contact you guys directly. So if we ever do need to make a move, then we can make a move. All right. All right. What's going on? Let me get in the chat, because I see there's a problem in the chat. What's going on? Oh, you talking about Eddie? Is Eddie a problem? You talking about the only Eddie? Eddie, is you a problem? Stop your distractions. Stop spamming. Yeah, stop spamming. I'm gonna have to ban you if you keep spamming. Unfortunately. So I'm gonna give you one more shot. I'm gonna give you one more chance. First time in the chat. What's up, man? So let's get on to the next. Eddie is a Google bot. Is it a Google bot? That's crazy. Why would Google send bots to my stream? How does that benefit them? That doesn't make any sense. I banned Eddie. Let me know if it works. I banned him. I banned Eddie. All right. More satanic coverage, huh? More satanic coverage. It is what it is, man. It is what it is, man. You know, I think it's important for us to be aware of our surroundings and to be aware of what's going on. And I think it's important for us to care about the things that people care about, but not obsess over them. You know what I mean? How did I just type a chat? Is that me? That ain't even me. Does somebody have my picture in the chat? Anyway, I think it's important for us to talk about things that people care about and are talking about, but not obsess over them. And I think it's important to, you know, show a Christian perspective and a truth, the truth in the situation, in the scenario, in the story, whatever people care about, in the hopes that it can change somebody's perspective and lead them to Jesus Christ. I mean, that's what it is. You said, what part of San Diego do I live in? You really think I'm going to tell you that information? You really think I'm going to tell you that information? Do you really think that? All right, y'all. Kirk Franklin. Uncle Kirk. He was recently on an episode of Funky Friday. Now, this is Cam Newton's podcast, Funky Friday. And they talked about a lot of stuff. I'll keep it real with you. I didn't even watch the whole podcast like that. I didn't watch the whole podcast. La Jolla. Wait, hold on. Hold on. You think I'm from La Jolla? Hey, y'all go look up where La Jolla is. Y'all go look up the median income to live in La Jolla. Y'all think I got chicken like that? Y'all think I'm just cashed out, huh? That's crazy. That's crazy. La Jolla is like $20 million to brush your teeth. Like, that's where Alicia Keys lives. Alicia Keys and Swiss Beats, they have a home in La Jolla on the cliffs, like overlooking the ocean. It ain't La Jolla. Back to what I was talking about before I was interrupted by that nonsense. I'm just playing, Shawnee. I'm just messing with you, Shawnee. I actually thought, I was listening to this as I was walking up. I was walking my dog. I was like on a little hike. I'm trying to do a little hike in the morning now. I was listening to this and I actually agreed with what Kirk was saying in this clip. Now I want to play this and I want to get your feedback. I want to understand what you guys think about this. Because I've been very critical of Kirk Franklin in the past. I've been very critical of Kirk Franklin in the present. And I'll probably be critical of Kirk Franklin in the future. And a part of me, I just feel like, bro, I feel bad because like I recognize how sinful I am and I recognize the things that I'm still struggling with. I don't always want to just be constantly judging people, specifically judging Christians for the stumbles and the falls that they experience in their life. But at the same time, I feel unrest when I don't speak about certain things. Anyway, let me play the clip. So I know y'all want to play the clip.
So I believe that God always had his hand on me, even in my stumbles, even in my mess ups. And he put a love for himself inside of me to guarantee that he had me. And it just showed up in my music. It showed up in my love for him, even in my flaws, even in my imperfections, man. It's like when I mess up, I hate when I mess up. You know, like I read the stuff that people say about me, right, and it always makes me want to check myself. You know, like I'm not the type of person that does not believe that people can't be critical. Is that I believe that people have a right to judge. We all judge. You judged if you were going to wear that pinky ring. You judged the color of that hat. You judged what kind of cameras you want. The problem a lot of times with Christian judgment is that we judge people without the opportunity for the redemption and to bring them back in. It's like the goal and the attempt sometimes with the way that some Christians judge is to condemn. It's never to win back. But biblical judgment is, let me love you enough to point some things out that I think may be standing in the way of you being your best. And I want to be here for you as you walk it out with me. So it's like when I'm dancing too much.
I thought that was a really good point. It does feel like sometimes, myself included, let me just speak for myself. Let me not say myself included. Let me just speak for myself. It does feel like some of the judgment that I put out there is like just to judge. But the whole point of the judgment is to bring people back, to point them back in the right direction, to point them back towards Christ. Not just for the sake of just speaking poorly or speaking bad or just laughing at somebody's stumble or just highlighting somebody's stumble and fall, but to actually bring them back to Christ. You know what I'm saying? So I thought he was spitting right there. Let me know what y'all think. Let's continue.
I want people to say something because I want to check, because you know how it is when you out there and you and your vibe, whatever, you're not paying attention to what you're doing.
And
you know what I'm saying? If I wear something that people think is a little too,
worldly,
a little too worldly.
Bro, stop. You said it's given La Mesa? It's given La Mesa? Is it really given La Mesa? Yo, shout out to everybody in La Mesa. Shout out to Helix High School. I ain't grow up in La Mesa. I ain't got nothing but love for La Mesa. I don't want to speak badly on La Mesa because the next time I ride through La Mesa, I don't want no problems. But it definitely ain't La Mesa.
Check that. It's like, you know what? Okay, you know what? But, I'll pay attention to that. I always want to pay attention because I know that I don't have it all together. My career has been judged since the day I started. My career in 2024 is still being judged. And I still want people to know it matters to me that people want to know if I'm repping Jesus, because I want to rep Jesus. But because I'm a sinner, because I'm not perfect, because I'm flawed, because we live in a fallen world, I'm not going to always get it right. And I want people to know that when I don't, you can say something. Even if they say it in very mean and harsh ways, it is my responsibility to bob and weave through all of the minutia and see that there are people that are looking to me to say, for some of us, you are the closest oracle that we get to hear word from God.
Yeah.
And so I got to take that responsibility, even.
Yeah. That's what he just said too. He said that he do be dancing a little crazy sometimes and that he wants people to check him and he wants people to call him out when he's swinging hips a little too much. That's what he said. And look, I don't know why he be doing that. I don't know why he be thrusting the hips on stage at worship concerts with Maverick City. I don't know why he feels the need to do that. But at the same time, if I just look at myself, there's a lot of things that I'm like, I don't know why I felt the need to do that in myself, in my own life. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not sitting here trying to make excuses for it, but I do think in us being critical of other Christians and us judging other Christians, I do feel like our hearts and our intentions have to be aligned with Christ before we do so. Because we serve a redemptive God, a God who literally came down as flesh Do you think about this for a second? God is the creator. He created everything. He created everything, which would imply that he is far above. He is far above his creation in all aspects, in every way that you can think. God is far above it. And God came down into creation that he created and humbled himself, was born just like how we were born, a baby. He was a baby. He was vulnerable as a baby. Like, it's like you, and he did all of this, was tempted in every way that we were tempted. He did all of this, died. But before he died, he lived the life that we should have lived, righteous, putting others before ourselves, putting others' needs before our own needs. He lived the life that we should have lived, and he died the death that we should have died. We deserve to be on that cross. He took that upon himself to redeem us, to give us a path to life, to cleanse us of our sin for all of eternity. So it's like, bro, we just out here pointing fingers. We're just out here judging. Yeah, people are messed up in all types of ways. You don't think God knew that? You don't think God knew that you were messed up? You don't think God knew that I was messed up before he came down and died for us? He already knew that. So like the expectation that people are always going to be perfect examples is an expectation that we need to drop, because just like he was saying, and I don't agree with everything Kirk Franklin says or does, but just like in this moment, I agree with what he's saying in this moment in terms of, let's remember the purpose of that judgment is to bring them back and point them back to Christ. And I don't know, like I kind of got past this earlier in my faith. I would look at people like people in worship. I would look at famous Christians, whatever you want to call it. I don't know, like celebrity pastors and Christian influencers and stuff like that. Mainly pastors, though. I would look at like pastors as like, I would look at them with an unhealthy expectation. And when they did something that was not aligned with what I know about Jesus Christ, that would cause a lot of confusion in my spirit. So all I'm saying is, let's just recognize who's God and who's not. You know what I'm saying? Anywho, let's get back to it. I know, bro. They're trying to find me. Hold on. Let me go back to the chat real fast. Kirk Franklin literally said, the lion and the lamb will bow down to the goat. Hold on. Yeah, you think I forgot. The lion and the lamb will bow down to the goat. Then did a fake gospel song with Will Smith at the BT's Awards, and he's shown his true spirit through his fruits. Yeah, and he said that he wants you to call him out on that. He wants you to call him out. So whatever you want to, listen. At the end of the day, the ultimate judge is God. You have a man who is sitting here telling you that he wants to be submitted to Jesus. He wants to follow Jesus. That he wants to be rebuked. That he wants the judgment, the righteous judgment. That he wants to be corrected. You have a man who's sitting here telling you this, right? I understand that the fruits look a little off. He's telling you this. There's really nothing that we can do other than give him exactly what he's asking for. He's asking to be rebuked. Let's give him rebuke, righteous rebuke. He's asking for judgment. Let's give him judgment, righteous judgment. Let's try to point him back to Jesus. If in his spirit, it's all deception and it's all lies, and all of this is just a tool to manipulate us into continuing to support his music and buy his albums and go to his tours and buy his merch and all this type of stuff. If all of that is genuine deception in his heart, then he's going to have to deal with that before God. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So I get it. Yeah, he did the lion and the lamb will bow down and he did all this other stuff. I get it. He did do all that other stuff. I get it. But like I said, he gonna have to face God.
Always like it. And what I've got to do is also in return, because, lately we've had a lot of pastors that have kind of been, having their
exposed.
Well, you know what? Let me say it like this. If you don't mind me saying this, I would humbly maybe not use the word exposed.
Okay.
It's because if that's the case, then everybody in the Bible was exposed.
Yeah.
But we call them heroes. The Bible is full of whoremongers, prostitutes, hoes, liars, thieves, cheaters, adulterers.
He ain't had to say hoes like that. Ho! I can't even say it, bro. I can't even say it. But he didn't have to say it with that much conviction.
Murderers. That is the canon. And we reference these people. We call these people after God's own heart. We quote people. We quote murderers. We quote adulterers. We quote liars. But in real time, when people in real life make the same mistake, they're condemned. So the same book that you love that's full of it, when you get it in real time, that's...
Yo, Mike, Sexy and Rich. If you don't get your... He said my sign is a Scorpio. I should ban you for that. I'm about up to here. Hey, post some stuff like that again, I'm gonna ban you, Mike. Talking about my sign is Scorpio. I don't care about your... Oh, okay. Let me not even talk about it, because now y'all acted crazy in the comments.
A little duplicitous. That's a little hypocritical. So I wouldn't say be exposed. I would say just be human.
Yeah.
We're having pastors right now that their humanity is showing.
Hey.
They're being sent.
Real quick. This is totally off topic.
Showing. And
I want to go back just a second. Hold on. 27, 12. Okay. Bro. I don't think y'all understand. And this is a totally different... Thank you, Tranisha. This is a totally different conversation. But I don't think y'all understand. And this is another thing I'm curious. I don't think y'all understand how much money Kirk Franklin has got on right now. And I'm not trying to be pocket watching all that type of stuff, but I seen the shoes, I seen the shirt, I seen the watch. He got it on though. I'm not saying it looked bad. I mean, it don't look bad. I'm just saying he got a lot of money on. Now, we talk about modesty, right? And I don't know what your view is on this topic, but we talk about modesty, right? And we always want to focus on women, and we always want to say, well, women need to be more modest when it comes to dress and appearance. But rarely do we have the conversation about male modesty and what that looks like. And like I said, I don't know where you stand on this, but just because you can put on a $5,000 outfit doesn't mean that you should put on a $5,000 outfit. That's just my question. I don't want to get too deep into this because I wasn't prepared to talk about this, But I just noticed that he really do got it on though.
Their humanity is showing. Their being sinners is showing. And that's why it's very important that we remind people. I've got to remind people, these pastors.
And maybe it's not 5Gs. Maybe I'm exaggerating. Maybe it's like a cool, ticket, like 1,000. Maybe it's 1,000. But still, that's a lot of money on an outfit.
Remind people, I represent Jesus. I am not Jesus. Do not serve me. Do not worship me. Do not put me on pedestals I don't deserve, because I'm a sinner. For all have sinned and fallen short of the glory. Scripture says there's not one righteous, no, not one. So when we make people want to live these perfect lives, we're setting people up to fall.
Yes.
Can you imagine his illustration?
Wait. Kirk is showing you his fruit. Stop making excuses for him. I'm not making excuses for him. I'm simply saying he's telling us he wants rebuke. He wants judgment righteously. Let's give that to him. If his heart is not in a pure place in him saying that, then he's got to deal with God. Where was the excuse? Where was the excuse? That's all I'm saying.
Tell me when I'm talking too much. If you are on an island and the only way off that island is this tightrope that is over sharks. The only way off the island is there's a tightrope, and everybody, let's say millions of people on the island. Yeah. And the only way off the island to get to safety, there's a tightrope that everybody's got to walk across. Okay,
but here's the thing. Linda. Here's the thing. Where is the repentance? When you repent in your own life, when you repent of something, of a sin that you committed, what does that look like in your own life? And before y'all say I'm making excuses, maybe he has repented. Maybe he has repented with God, one-on-one with God. Maybe he has. Maybe he has got on his hands and knees and cried out to God and repented and asked for forgiveness. Like, I don't really know what we want from these individuals in the spotlight. Like, this is where I go back to the expectation conversation. I don't know what we expect these individuals to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what we expect.
But up under the tightrope is a sea full of sharks. We're not going to be looking at people trying to get off the island and going, look at them, they slipping. Look at that. They walking. See, they fell. I knew they would fall. You're not going to do that. You're going to be doing like this. God, please make it. Please, because you know you next.
For sure. Sooner or later, you're going to go.
If you're going to get off that island, the only way off this island that is dying is to go across that thing. You're going to be praying and wishing everybody the best to get off. Sure. That's why I have such a confusing space when people condemn Christians when they fall and make mistakes, because we know how hard this life is. It's hard for people that don't believe in God to live life right now. Yes. Can you imagine signing up for somebody that says virgin births and Red Seas and a whole bunch of animals getting on the ark? I mean, these things that are so far.
And also, and this is just something that I was just thinking about, just because we disagree with something that somebody has done in the past, does that mean that we always have to disagree with each and everything that they say or do moving forward? Can we not at least acknowledge when somebody is saying something correctly? Or are we so clouded that we can't recognize it? And I personally, I don't want to be filled with so much pride. And I'm not saying any of you are filled with pride like that. Like, I don't know where you guys stand on this. I personally, I just don't want to be filled with so much pride and so much self-righteousness that I feel like I'm at a point in my journey with God where it's better than somebody else's journey, or like I'm more this or I'm more that, I'm more obedient, I read my Bible more, I pray more, I worship more, I do this. I don't want to get to that space. Like, I don't sin as much as you sin. I don't want to get to that space. Like, I just think it's a very pointless. I think it's pointless. I think it's filled with pride. I think it's like, it's a Pharisee-like mentality, and I don't want to get to that space. And it's easy for me doing what I do to look at things from that standpoint. And as I said, when people who have a spotlight, when people who have been given a platform, when these individuals, Christians, when they make mistakes, when they stumble and fall, I'm going to speak about it, but I'm trying to change my perspective in how I speak about it, because I know that there might come a day where my face might be on that thumbnail. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're human. We're human. That's what I'm saying. Let me see what else he says. I don't know. I think that might have been it, but let me just make sure he didn't say anything else.
Hard to believe, and people say, I want to choose to believe that. If they fall, we should be praying for people, because we know tomorrow it could be us.
Yes.
So that's the tension that I have with where Christianity is today and how we treat each other, because there's only one way off. And up under it is a sea full of sharks.
I think, you just said something that I receive, where you're just a messenger.
It's it. I'm not the message.
They're not the message by no stretch of the imagination. And I think that's where people look and say, you know what, I told you so. That's why I don't go to church right now. Man, look, the pastor riding in the Rolls Royce, everybody else riding in the doggone Caprice.
I do think that there is a responsibility that when your lifestyle is contingent upon the giving of individuals that are spending their last dollars, it's because they are believing that this is a direct access and source to God's blessings on their life. I think that there is a responsibility of what you do with that money and how you live in front of people. So
yeah, that's interesting. And this is what I was talking about from like a modesty, humility standpoint. I don't know. I would much rather wear and support a Christian brand than wear a Miri. That's just me. I'd rather wear a Christian brand than wear a Miri or Gucci, Fendi, Prada, Balenciaga, any of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't even wear any brands. Oh my gosh. Y'all crazy. Y'all still trying to guess where I live at. But that's just me. But what do we think in the comments? What are we thinking? Let me read some super chats real quick. Real quick, we'll get to the Kalama. Whoa. We'll get to the Kalama. We'll get to the Kamala Harris conversation after these super chats. Djo sent 1,000. What is that? Yen? What is that? Djo. Thank you, Djo. You ain't say nothing though. If you're gonna do a super chat, I appreciate it, but you gotta say something. You gotta say a message. But I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Eddie, or wait, Edgius, is that how you say it? Edgius Sauce 945. Love your vids, Nick. You helped me turn to Christ. That's incredible. All glory to God, for real, because that's the truth. You know what I'm saying? All glory to God. That's all I can say. Thanks, man. Madeline, all these people in the Bible were all kinds of things before Christ. That's a fact. That's a fact. All those people in the Bible were all kinds of things before Christ. David David, a man after God's own heart, he seen old girl, bathing. He said, old girl look good. Sent her husband to war to get killed so he could sleep with her. Now he repented, but what are we talking about? We talking about adultery. We talking about murder. Like, this is a man after God's own heart. Yeah, you're right. I mean, shout out to David, but that's a crazy story. That's a crazy story. Know them by their fruits. Terrible TV show he has. Which TV show? Which TV? Oh. Nah, you right. You right. The TV show, the dating TV show. Listen, there's so many things. It's like I can't keep up with everything. Yeah, he does have a terrible TV show. That TV show where it's like dating and then they have the couples all living together in the same house and like sleeping in the same beds and stuff like that. And it's supposed to be like I don't even know if they called it like a Christian dating thing. I think they just made it like a dating show, but he's hosting it, him and his wife, and he's supposed to be helping people get married. I've never seen it. It's nothing that ever interested me before, but yeah. It ain't looking too good. It ain't looking too good. Yeah. If you love me, you will follow my commandments. Here's the thing I'm trying to say. It's very simple for us to see the mistakes of other people and quickly forget the mistakes that we have made or are currently making. This is what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to make excuses for people. I'm not trying to justify any sin of any sort. I'm simply saying that what we can control is our relationship with God. He has given us free will. We can choose to deny our flesh. We can choose to be obedient. Let's focus on what we can control. Let's focus on that. Bro, I don't even know what that means, dog. I'm not even gonna lie to you, Isaac. I don't even know what that means, dog. I don't know what that means, dog. I appreciate the super chat. I just don't know what it means, dog. Y'all keep sending super chats. I'm trying to get to the next topic. Well, Loren, shout out to Loren. Well, hold on, Loren, 1 second. Isaac said Lemon character and Baby Lemon blowing a party horn while marching. Is that a meme? I don't know what that means. Am I Lemon character or am I Baby Lemon? I don't know. I don't know what that means, bro. I ain't that cool. I ain't hip on the lingo like that. Loren says we all have time to be redeemed until Jesus returns. We need to pray for each other. Exactly. This is what I'm trying to say, man. This is what I'm trying to say. All right, y'all. Let's get into this Kamala conversation. So, Kamala Harris.
It's not all about.
Sorry. Let me start over. I'm trying to make a video. All right, y'all. Kamala Harris. Some of y'all gonna be voting for her. Some of y'all gonna be voting for Trump. Now, I have been very clear. And I want to say something, but I can't say it because I asked my wife I asked my wife, I was like, yo, if I say this, do you think it's too crazy to say? And she told me it was too crazy to say. And I respect my wife's opinion. Because the reason why I was even asking her if I should say that is because I kind of knew that I shouldn't say it. So I'm not going to say it. But I will say this. I'm not voting for Kamala Harris. I'm not. You vote for Jesus. I vote for Jesus too, Leslie. I also vote for Jesus. But the fact of the matter is, we do have a real election taking place. And I think that we should have these conversations because, as we know, there's spiritual warfare all around us. There's a fight for good versus evil all around us. And something that we can do to respect our governing authorities, as the Bible tells us to respect our governing authorities, however you want to interpret that, something that we can do to participate in this system is to cast a vote. And I have been very vocal about this in the past, about my desire to not even really want to vote. I'll keep it real with you. I said this on Instagram. I said, I don't even really know if I want to vote, because it's just like everyone's flip-flopping. Like Trump got on stage and he's talking about, basically saying like abortion, like follow your heart and doing all this kind of stuff. And it's this, that, and the third. And, and then he also got on stage, Trump, and he was talking about how, he was talking to Christians and he was pretty much saying like, there's some things that I have to compromise on because this is an election and we have to win an election. And it's stuff like that that's kind of discouraging, right? But then when you look on the other side, when you look at Kamala Harris, I don't even know if I can say constant. I don't want to get too outlandish, but whatever, I'll get outlandish. The constant support of demonic agendas that I've witnessed personally from Kamala Harris is just, it's insane. It's insane. And the fact that she hasn't even really given us any clear policy as of yet is very concerning. I don't want to get too crazy down a conspiracy rabbit hole, but even the fact that she's the nominee right now is concerning. But at the end of the day, it's up to the Democrats to choose who they want to put in that position. But if you're saying that Biden is unfit to be the nominee in just a few months, it does raise the question, who's running the country right now? Who's running the country right now? If Biden is unfit to run for president in a few months, then how is he currently fit to run the country right now? So to me, Kamala Harris is already running the country. She's vice president anyway. She's in that position. If anything were to happen to the president, to step up and lead this country. She's already leading this country. I don't understand this conversation of vote for me and I'm going to do this. Vote for me and I'm going to do that from the standpoint of Kamala Harris. You're vice president right now. If you're not running the country, which I believe she's running the country, but if she's not running the country, she has a direct line of communication to the person who is. And I understand politics is a very complicated game that involves a lot of pieces. I understand it. But this thing of like, if you vote for me, I'm going to do this. How come you don't just do it right now? If you're really for the people, just do it right now. With all of that said, and this is not something that I say because I want it to happen. This is something that I say based on the very simple fact that the world has become increasingly more blind, increasingly more oblivious, and increasingly more extreme. I could most definitely 100% see a scenario where Kamala Harris is elected in and where she wins. And actually, the people who are voting for Kamala Harris, I feel like, just based on what I've seen on social media, I feel like they're not even really concerned about the policy. They're going to vote for her regardless. It might actually be to her benefit to not put the policy out, to not expose how crazy the policy is. It might be a benefit for her to delay and just allow all of these individuals to continue following blindly, which is what's happening right now. And also, it's so crazy to me that she hasn't done any like real dialogue with the media, at least not that I've seen. Maybe by the time y'all see this, or right now, maybe she's currently sitting down with the media and having conversations. It's crazy to me that she hasn't, up until this point, had like some sort of long form conversation. I mean, you look at Trump and you look at JD Vance, and I don't think they're running the best campaign, in my opinion. I do not think they're running the best campaign. I don't. It's very sloppy, in my opinion. I wish we could just have a campaign where it's just like the policy. Let's just focus on the policy. Forget all the high school drama and back and forth. Let's just focus on the policy. What are you going to do for the people? What are you going to do for the people? I think they're focusing too much on some of the personal stuff, but at least they've given us some policy to kind of dissect and look at. And like I said, it's crazy that they haven't done that Kamala hasn't done any type of interview from a media standpoint. JD Vance, he just went on ABC News. He did CNN. Those are pretty, I don't want to say hostile, but you could tell that they weren't on the side of Trump Vance. But he still did those interviews. Same thing with Trump. He still did interviews. It's like, from Kamala's standpoint, just do any interview. Go to CNN, go to any place. You don't have to go to the place that is opposing you. Just go to any place, but she won't even do that. And then you think about it like, bro, and this is something that Vivek said yesterday. I was watching an interview from The Breakfast Club. Vivek Ramaswamy was on The Breakfast Club. That was actually a really good interview that he did yesterday. He was saying like, yo, if Kamala can't have tough conversations with Americans who oppose her, how is she going to sit in front of Vladimir Putin and have tough conversations, and other world leaders and have tough conversations? With that said, let's embark down a journey and listen to what some of Kamala Harris's supporters have to say in terms of the reason why they are supporting Kamala Harris. Let's get into it.
Why are y'all voting for Kamala Harris?
I don't want to lose my rights. Like, I'm a trans man and I'm gay and I have been pregnant and I've had an abortion before, and I don't want to lose that. I'm afraid of not being able to be myself anymore because from what I've heard, Trump's America doesn't want me to look like this. So that's why I'm here today and that's why I'm voting blue.
What about you?
I've also been pregnant and had an abortion before. I was a minor and it would have been dangerous for me to properly, it would have been dangerous for me to carry a baby with personal reasons and everything. I also, I'm very, alternative, and I feel like if Trump were to win, I wouldn't be able to express myself through my looks and everything, and wouldn't be able to have the piercings or the dyed hair or the tattoos that I want. I would be able to be myself, and my dad's very pro-Trump, and I'm just very
Pro-Kamala.
pro-Kamala. Yeah, I don't, it's just...
Does that cause a divide at all?
Yeah, it definitely does. He thinks that Kamala's going to ruin the country, but I think that Trump would do worse, a lot.
So the thing that was very interesting to me is that she or he, they or them, I'm not sure. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I don't know the pronouns, and it looks like a she, and I'm going to say she, right? She was saying, that if Trump were to win, she would not be able to be herself. And that struck me. And I'm sure this is not I'm sure this is not the same feeling across all Kamala Harris supporters. But I could imagine that there's a good portion of Kamala Harris supporters who might feel the same type of sentiment in terms of if Trump were to be elected, their life would be greatly impacted to a point beyond return. Not to be dramatic, but that's just what came out of my mouth. But the thing that's so crazy to me is, like, honestly, as I said, I'm not voting for Kamala Harris. But if she were to win, which, as I said, I think is very possible. I think it's very possible. I'm almost more inclined to believe that in my head, I think it's more likely that Kamala wins than Trump wins. And like I said, if you are somebody who doesn't want to see that happen, then get out there and go vote. But I think it's more likely that Kamala wins than Trump wins. Not that I want that to happen. I just think it's more likely. I don't have a bunch of data and polls and everything to show you. I'm just looking at the people. And a lot of people that I'm seeing are just blindly voting because they feel like if Trump were to win, their life would be greatly impacted. And that, to me, shows a complete lack of faith. Because I don't care who gets into office. Like, if that offends some of y'all, it is what it is. It doesn't really matter because Jesus is in control. God is in control. And if hard times come, that's an opportunity for us to lean closer and focus on our relationship with Jesus. If things happen and this world continues to get crazier, which, oh, by the way, the Bible tells us the world is only going to continue to get crazier in the end times. So why are we surprised? You know what I'm saying? Why are we surprised? We already know this stuff is going to get wicked. We already know it's going to get out of control. We already know it's going to get wild. We literally just watched a video of a trans man saying that he got pregnant. Like, is this where you thought we were going to be at 2024? Just keep it real. And this is only going to progress and get even more crazier. I also saw something, where was it? On the Brilliant Idiots. If a cuss word slips, I think I got it to a point where he's not cussing. But if there is a word that slips, I apologize. But I thought this was interesting. And this kind of speaks to how I feel about the situation as well.
And then as second she becomes
he's talking about the second that Kamala becomes the nominee.
Everything was forgotten, immediate amnesia. You always talk about how like Republicans get in line. Democrats get in line, bro. But that, just yes. So who should I follow? Yes. Whatever you say, Daddy.
But that's why it was good for President Biden to step down.
Right.
And this is what I'm saying. It's like, it's from a Democratic standpoint, I feel like it's more so about the hatred that they have for the other side, as opposed to who their candidate is. And like I said, I didn't grow up Republican. I don't even necessarily think I would consider myself Republican right now. Like, I grew up very much Democrat, very much left. And it was just like over time, it just became crazier and crazier and crazier and crazier. And as I became a Christian, just the divide between my belief system as a Christian and beliefs on the left just were in constant friction. It's like, bro, I can't support this. I can't support this. And this is another interesting conversation that I would love to have, like, from the standpoint of Christians who are supporting these different types of policies, these different abortion policies, these different policies that are clearly not of God. I would love to have the conversation as to kind of the perspective of how they think about those things. But like I said, Trump is not perfect. There's a lot of things I don't like about Trump. There's a lot of things that just kind of that send red flags. There's a lot of different things that even from like a religious standpoint, it's like, sometimes it feels like he's pandering to Christians, like he's not really genuine about it. But then other times it's like I sense a level of genuineness. And it's confusing. This whole system is confusing. But I think when you put the two candidates side by side, as a Christian, the party that most aligns with my belief system as a Christian, the candidate who's running for president is Donald Trump. So that's where my vote would go. But I do think there is this groupthink mentality from a lot of people. And there's this constant push from a lot of people to be them and to be yourself and to feel good and to be happy. And I think the left and, Democrats have done a good job of putting a voice and putting a face to the people who feel that way, which is a lot of people. Because on the contrary, as a Christian, we're told that things are going to be hard. We're told that we're going to be hated. If God was hated, then of course we are going to be hated because we follow God. We're told to pick up our cross. We're told to crucify our flesh. We're told all of these things. We know the persecution is coming. We know it's going to be tough. Are there moments of joy and happiness and positivity and love and just all the positive stuff when you're a Christian? Absolutely. There's all of that. We have true joy. As Christians, we are given true eternal joy, but that doesn't always mean that we're happy. That doesn't always mean that, bro, it feels good to crucify my flesh. It would feel better, quote unquote. Well, I can't say that. I can't even say that. And this is the thing where it's like my perspective is constantly changing. I was going to say it would feel better if we just gave in to our flesh, but it's so temporal. It's so temporary. If we're just talking from a feeling standpoint, which I'm trying to get away from just the feeling, but if we're just talking about purely from a feeling standpoint, when we overcome temptation, it feels so much better. It might suck in the moment because our sinful flesh is pulling us in that direction and we're actively opposing it and crucifying it and denying it. But once you get through that, it feels so much better. But there's a lot of people who just don't understand that concept. They just have to give in to their desires. They have to give in to these spirits of homosexuality, of transgender, of confusion, of non-binary. And I'm not trying to just pick on that group, but I'm just saying that like a lot of these individuals, it's coming from a spirit of confusion. It's coming from a spirit of lust. It's coming from a deceitful spirit that doesn't want you to realize who you actually are in Christ. I don't know. I feel like I got off in a little bit of a tangent there.
It's not all about harboring it and staying in your room and staying locked in by yourself. No, lock in with the world, lock in with life, lock in with the people around you, lock arms with the people around you and go forward in what you want to accomplish. Don't shrink, lock in. God called you to be where you are right now. Fortune favors the bold. Everybody that you admire was bold, audacious, and said, I don't care. I'm going forward. They had vision. They saw farther than their eyes could see. That's called vision. That's called truth. That's called I have a greater and deeper conviction of what I got inside of me, and I got to build it inside and give it to the world. It's not all about harboring it and staying in your room and staying locked in by yourself. No, lock in with the world, lock in with life, lock in with the people around you, lock arms with the people around you and go forward in what you want to accomplish.
I don't know if I got anything else. He talking to a tree. Hey, it's facts though. It's facts. It's facts. Check this out. You know what's crazy? If you were on the last if you were on the last stream that I did, can you just say something? Like, just say I was or something like that. Do you remember how many times I had to go to the bathroom on that last stream? Now, granted, the last stream was literally like 4 hours and 40 minutes long, but the amount of times I had to go to the bathroom was crazy. I was sitting here consciously trying not to drink water because I already knew I was going to have to go to the bathroom, and I didn't want to do that to y'all today. We can go, let's go super chats for a moment. Let me see if I missed anything. Merle? I don't know why I said it like that. Merle? What's a good Bible preaching church in LA? I honestly don't know. I don't go that way. I don't go up there. You will not catch me in LA. The only time you'll catch me in LA is if the Raiders are playing the Chargers. I might slide up to LA once a year. Besides that, I don't go to LA. It ain't for me. It's hectic. It's hectic. The traffic sucks. I like the vibe where I'm at a lot better. It's a slower pace. It's more family. Surprisingly, believe it or not, there's a lot of Christians in San Diego. Believe it or not, there is. Which I'm not saying it's on the level of like the South. Like y'all got it. But there's a lot of Christians this way, believe it or not. So I don't know. I can't help you. You gotta get it. So somebody in the chat, if you live in LA, I know I just dissed your whole city, but if you live in LA, give some recommendations. Let me go down back to the chat here. Oh, that's funny. So I'll say this. And so this is the last thing I will say on this. This is the last thing I'll say on this, Shawnee. That's where I'm from. And I'm kind of creeped out that you said that. But that is where I'm from. Anyway, I'm gonna get out here, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Hey, question before y'all leave, real quick. When you were watching this live stream, did you see ads in the live stream? I'm just curious. And if you did see ads, what did you think about them? Were they like crazy, wild type of stuff? Like, what were they advertising? If you've seen ads, I'm very curious. You missed the whole. You can actually read. So you got to go to Patreon. If you missed the whole live, you got to go on Patreon. I'm going to put the Patreon on live. Like I said, let me go back here. And you don't have to pay. It's free. So Patreon's free. You can just go to Patreon. And I'm not talking like a free trial. It was gay ads. What do you mean it was gay ads? What are you talking about? Stop playing. It was Kamala ads. I saw a lot of Kamala ads on TV. Donald Trump campaign. Same as. Okay. Okay. Go to Patreon. Go to Patreon. Go to Patreon. Go to Patreon. When you go to Patreon, you can go on your phone. Literally, it's so easy. Go to patreon.com. Go to search a creator. Type in Nick Jones when you search a creator. Once you do that, I'll be the first result that comes up. click on it, and then all you got to do, you see where it says join for free? Click the button that says join for free. Don't look at my nails. They're a little crusty, but actually not that much. So just click on join for free, and the stream will be up on Patreon. I can't put it on YouTube because I got to chop it up and post the videos. All right, y'all. I'm out, y'all. Appreciate y'all.